dwarven city of Hytir. Slowly picking up speed along the currents of the river, your raft sways through the long tunnel of roughly hewn stone. Moss and plants are already sparse among the slight embankments to either side of your path, but as the air grows more and more frigid along the icy water and air, soon nothing seems to grow. Instead, flowers of frost and icicles extending the reach of stalactites adorn the walls. Some of these icicles grow long enough they reach so far down from the high ceiling that they almost encroach onto the raft base. More than once, Vind has to duck beneath a cluster of these icy spikes, and more than once you are startled by the sound of shattering ice, whenever Vind had been a little bit too slow to duck. You continue along this path, this harming, freezing boat ride, for 5 full days. Periodically, every other day, you pass by a sluice much like the first you had seen. However, you encounter these wide open, abandoned, and in a worse state of erosion than the first. Here there are no signs of repair or recent activity, and you pass through them in a matter of seconds. During these 5 days you have, what do you guys do?
Heal up.
I'm just gonna try. Huxley and me were training Suxley, like on dexterity, a little bit on strength. So I guess I'm gonna try and make them some shoot target practice basically with it.
I think we're not using like the jet on it anymore, right? The current takes us along, is that correct?
At the moment, the current is propelling you forward, but you could always go faster.
I feel like that's a bit dangerous in a tunnel scenario.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, if it's like relatively calm, Brett will. I think he's gonna start like sketching plans for this like mansion that he's dreaming up. Once he can find the confused for his spell.
Okay.
So I guess he'll also ask people. Was there anything you would want in like a mansion if you were just able to design a mansion all on your own type of thing?
A lot of pillows.
Ebwin would probably tell him an excessive, amount of tools and workshop space and space for experimentation and testing of materials.
Oh, you mean whole rooms? Yeah, sure. I would.
I got a whole room
like,
of pillows right now.
Yeah, I mean that's one room. The other room I would love to see is like a training room with some training dummies and a couple weapons you could try out, and just a spacious area where you can just hone your skills.
And what about?
Say that again?
What about you, Huxley? What if you could imagine any room? What would your room look like?
Oh, like, what kind of room?
Any. That's the point. Anything you can imagine.
It would have walls and windows.
In the walls, or like sitting just in the middle of the room?
No, on the wall.
Okay. All right. I'll figure something out. It's a work in progress.
What if we had a room dedicated to pets? Just different like
Yeah.
terrariums and I don't know, just like some animals. And we can name them after family members and stuff,
Like Lorana.
for example.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so Red sketches these ridiculous ideas because
Everyone would probably be obnoxious in like very specific dimensions and tedious and like, oh, it would have to have like this amount of like square footage along with like specific diameters and doorway heights that can fit Vint so that he can assist
Right.
in the workshop.
Okay.
Obnoxious things like that.
That sounds like enough for several days, yeah.
Either Huxley or Soleil. Could either of you give me an animal handling?
I'm good at animal handling.
Sure.
Are they
Do it.
assisting each other
I'm gonna help you. By being a good daddy.
Can I
It
roll
is
it?
a straight roll.
or? Oh, okay.
I'm good at it, at least on paper.
There you go.
26.
Wow.
You notice that during your time training, Huxley moves a little slower than usual.
Oh no.
The cold is definitely slowing down your progress during training, but you still make progress, teaching Huxley some basic commands.
We have to warm Suxley up. He's freezing.
I'm gonna wrap his arms. I'm gonna wrap my arms around it and just like use my fur to warm it up.
We got the warming tent, but
I can put it in. I can put him in my beard.
Is it warm there?
Yes.
Yeah, throughout these 5 days, you try to keep Huxley as warm as possible. And before long, the tunnel grows a little wider. The air a little warmer. The ice and frost along the stone recedes slightly when, in the distance, along the path, a light shines through the tunnel. The searing shine makes it hard to see anything but the two sources of the glare, two circular beams of light directed at you. The light even seems to follow as your raft continues towards them. And then, finally, close enough, you begin to hear the faint ringing of a bell. Erratically, the lights become occasionally disrupted for a few seconds, as presumably something passes in front of them. In these short moments, you make out a stone wall and gate, of the same make that you had seen on the sluices before, but higher and wider. Your raft drifts close enough to be within earshot of the gate. The ringing of the bell recedes, and murmuring echoes off the walls. Then finally, the lights move to the signs and away from you, shining instead along the wall. Before you, atop the gate, stands a row of iron helmet and wide shoulders. Beneath them, eyes watch your approach very carefully, especially that of Wind. You have no doubt that there are many crossbows and guns cocked and ready to be trained at you. And then a voice rings out.
Ant, Herr, Kerjovaskar, Arnek Urik Notr, Hitier.
There is a moment of silence in response to the dwarven shout, before Dwar, slightly taken aback, realizes he is the only one to answer.
Turek Dwar Recuret, Induaskar, Esak.
I can speak Dwarvish.
You would know that the dwarf atop the wall asked who you are, that you would approach the city of Hytir under arms. Dwar, in return, simply stated that he returned with guests from far beyond. Again, the dwarf atop the gate addresses you, this time in common.
Who are you, guests of Dwar, that you ride the river with a dwarf, and an insult to all dwarven kind? And who
Also-
are you, Dwar, that you do not recognize what curses to our ancestors you bring? That construct is necrotech. Dour craftsmanship, dour necromancy. Do you seek to reopen old wounds? Perhaps insult him who sits the throne of stone.
No insult is intended. It was taken as a prize from those foul creatures that would have created it.
Under
As to-
whose authority do you travel to our realm?
We travel on behalf of the city of Polythreme. We've traveled far and wish to seek the greatness of your city.
Polythreme, the entire city. Is it in trouble?
Well, we represent at least one of the members of its council, and in a way it is certainly in trouble. As I suppose the greater world is, indeed.
What member of the council thinks they have the sort of sway that they can just show up at our gates in times like these?
You know, we really should have taken one of these 5 days to talk to Badar.
Probably.
You see the dwarf's expression change.
I know, so like, Rhett was just thinking this internally.
Okay.
Do we know Vidar's full name?
Reginald
I'm trying to look back in my
Quatermain.
notes. Oh, Reginald?
Seems like a cool, nice guy. That wasn't right.
But
Maybe
he's not on the council.
wasn't he?
At
Not
some point
currently
in
on
the
the council.
past, he was.
I thought he was.
I don't think Reginald's on the council.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
I was sure that he was at some point.
Do we
And
know
we do
Vidar's full
technically
name?
directly-
I'm trying to look back in my notes.
Do you know many vampires with the
Don't
name of
think you know
Vidar?
his full name.
Vidar told us to come here, and that after we were here, he would be able to make a payment, correct? To speak towards payment, correct? For what we were trying to get metal-wise?
Yes, Vidar mentioned a deal he would have had
Right.
for, I believe, 30 tons of an alloy.
Okay.
Then Evelyn
That-
would
that-
probably speak up at this point in time. We're here on behalf of Vidar.
But like Rhett would, I guess, correct us though we are in general in the employ of Reginald Quartermain, if you recognize that name.
He doesn't seem to hear that second part of what you say, right?
Uh-huh.
His expression changes. For a moment, you see the color almost fade from his face. And then the color returns. In fact, the dwarf suddenly looks not redder than before. Much, much redder.
That rook thracking, pig-headed, no-good bastard of a... Does that fucker know it's been 3.5 years since...
The dwarf stops himself, looking around, almost ashamed at his outburst. He takes a long breath and sighs.
Let them pass through. Alert the harbor about that fucking construct, so they don't fire cannons the second they see it. And inform the king of the Hikar of this. Tell him you know who has arrived to honor his thracking deal.
I like this guy.
There's a short whisper from the guard at his side.
No, of course I don't want you to fucking swear at the king. Use your own fucking words. You, Indwarasker, I will board your ship. Before you walk the streets of our realm, you will talk to our lord. You are visitors now, but you are blood-teethed wolves in a den of thunderhorn rams.
Did he just call me a wolf?
He called you dog.
The
Do you
now
still like this?
I hate him now.
clanking of the chain
I respect him
mechanism
for hating Vidar, but I hate him.
resounds in the tunnel. It's accompanied by the creak of breaking ice that is formed along the gate. With a thump and a distinct... Wait, With a thump and a distinct uncomfortable creak of the raft's wood, as you pass through the gate, the dwarf that been shouting from the top lands on the raft. His eyes immediately wander over Vind, and you can tell that he seems very standoffish in the construct's presence. The raft continues to pass through the sluice that is several times larger than the ones you had seen so far. Barracks and other buildings are hewn into the cave walls along the structure, and dozens of dwarves seem to wander about, tending to the mechanisms, guard posts, and forges. The heat and light from these blaring forge furnaces makes this place almost seem comfortable to live in. But soon enough, you exit out of this outpost as well. The raft drifts forward into a wide cavern. A lake stretches a fair distance in front of you, though nowhere near the size of the veritable ocean at Baratier. The lake still seems quite sizable. And soon, the current that drove you here is no longer enough to carry you further. At the other side of the lake, you can see a bright light atop a massive tower. Even at this distance, the light drenches the cavern into a dim twilight. The light even seems reflected in the depths of the lake, which, instead of a hazy blue darkness, appears to shimmer in colors of teal and green.
Start heading towards the tower. Harbor's right next to it.
Glenn will look towards Vint and almost kind of boldly and rather purposefully command him, probably in more of a commanding way than she normally refers to Vint, as more of a, this is somebody who's just essentially insulted one of her most amazing inventions. Obviously, she was using somebody else's technology and knowledge, but she worked hard on this. So she's kind of trying to, like, make more of a statement of, like, I'm commanding it, as she tells Vint to start essentially kicking and paddling to get the boat moving in that direction.
Are you trying to make it seem more as a power move or an intimidation act?
It's probably more of a snub. Like, you want to,
Can you
like,
give me a charisma check?
not good. Like, she's not being nice here. This is, it's a roll 9 and 8.
Mm-hmm. There's this moment when Vint begins to move, and there's almost this chest puffing out from the dwarf towards the construct. But there's no other reaction as Vint begins to paddle you towards the city.
Also, Ablin, when you turned around and did that, you see someone in the back of the boat you haven't seen in quite a while. Arms crossed, silently staring, looking as cool as possible, cape flapping in the wind.
Oh.
You see Blue Tiger.
Oh, okay. Blue Tigers. Gotcha.
Back.
Has Huxley ever seen Blue Tiger, though?
I don't think so, I'm not sure.
Also, Huxley's a dwarf right now.
Yeah.
No. It's real awkward.
Evelyn would just kind of nod slightly to Soleil, but just kind of stand near, like, the foot of Vint and, like, a hand sort of possessively on some of his, like, bone extremities.
Hux will just be like, why are you wearing a mask?
Oh, that's a big blue
Oh,
tiger.
Why are you so big?
Oh, it's still the old art. I should let Beggar upload the newer one.
Yeah.
I rescue it's his ceremonial gift to show the maximum respect to the king, of course.
The
Blue
other
Tiger
dwarf remains
leans over to Hux.
silent.
I just wanna look cool.
You always look cool.
But this is my favorite.
Along the stony ridge next to the Tower of Light, many more buildings rise into the sky. Most notably, overlooking the lake just beyond the light of the tower, a stone palace of domes and spires reaches beyond a fortified wall. It seems to only grow larger the closer you get, until it and the city all around it tower over your approach. Through a canal leading underneath a colossal stone bridge, you sail into height here. The city of dwarves.
Oh.
All around you, buildings of solid stone rise along walls and cliffs. At the end of the channel, a dam blocks the water from the canyon beyond, which seems to continue into an immeasurable depth, and still you see lights there along the walls and what may be the bottom. Amidst the uncountable number of lights and torches around the streets, the entire city is abuzz with activity. You almost get this strange sensation of social whiplash. For the last few months you had been largely alone, in what you would describe as complete wilderness. And although it doesn't quite compete with the uncomfortable masses of people at Polythreme, it easily rivals cities like Antog. The raft rocks slightly as it bumps into the dock of the rather surprisingly large harbor, and your escort immediately hops ashore.
Just a quick question. Do we pass, like, other rivers that came in, or was the way that we came in the only, like, connection that we saw to some other place? Like, is that why the docks are surprising? Because we're like, we didn't see any other boats, or...
As you were crossing this lake, as there was a sort of dim twilight all around, you would have seen other paths.
Is this
To the
map
north,
just-
it was more frozen in, but there are other
I
tunnels.
don't. I don't see anything here.
You can't? I can.
What?
It's weird. Is it just like blank for you? or-
It's just blank. It's just black. Like the
Here,
background.
I'll take a
Okay.
screenshot.
Not around faster. Lol.
Lol.
Wow. Okay then.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So there is some bigger body of water.
That's the north of us or something.
Yep. Understood. Cool.
What square are we currently on, Becker? In here? Or where will we be? Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Your escort turns around towards you as you are still on the raft.
Right. Dwarf, you're free to go if you intend of keeping this around.
He waves vaguely at the raft.
Then clear it with the harbor. The rest of you, follow me with that thing.
Again, he throws almost angry glances in Vince's direction before setting out towards one of the ramps leading into the city higher above.
Evelyn will move to fly up onto Vince's shoulder and then have Vince follow. And just sit on his shoulder.
Soleil climbs on the other shoulder and tries to stand there and look as mysterious as possible for any bystanders that might see them.
Evelyn is pulling like full, like sitting, trying to do her best to sit as primly as all of her ever like random etiquette courses have ever taught her, like as like a position of authority kind of a thing, on this on the shoulder of Vint. So she's sitting there with like legs crossed and just doing her best to keep her balance and trying to look completely unfazed.
Just imagine a citizen see this. Are we the bad guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
There is quite a lot of activity around the dock. And indeed, as you pass, there are plenty of dwarves that drop whatever they're doing and just stare. Their expressions are a colorful mix. Some look somewhat scared, intimidated. Others just seem somewhat suspicious of you. But most just stare at you with this blank surprise written across their face. At the base of the ramp, the guard approaches a group of dwarves seemingly on a break. There is a very short exchange of words you can't understand. And all of them stopping to look at Vind towering over them, grumble, putting away their food to open a large gate of an adjacent warehouse.
That's what I thought.
Here. Story construct in here for the time being. Don't want it prancing around the city scaring the populace. And if it
Very
were
well.
the first thing the king sees, your prospects diminish more than Vidar's name already has done.
Thank you for the advice and the offer.
Evelyn's just gonna move to instruct Vint to walk in. Is there a place where it looks like he can settle reasonably in the amount of space somewhere?
Looking inside, the warehouse is very large to this sort of central corridor that is the widest part, as wide as the gate leading in. To the left and right there are racks of crates and chests and various goods that you can't quite make out in the darkness. But the most space is certainly in this middle corridor, just right in front of this gate.
She will have Vin settle into a space and then quietly whisper a command to Vin, instructing him to stay put, but if anything attempts to restrain him or attack him before Eblin's return, or no, just before Eblin's return, then he is to run and leave the warehouse, going to the dock and running to the bottom of the lake.
Okay.
And then she will descend, and Rhett should realize that Evelyn has shifted into her full, like, stubborn personality currently, but she's not saying anything else and is just moving to stand beside Rhett and walk next to him.
Someone placated the guard, turns around and begins to ascend the ramp to the city proper. Behind you, you see as these workers close the gate behind you, and then as you get a little bit further away, they sort of keep the gate open a little bit, and there are a couple of dwarves that wander by, and some of them just kind of stay. There's this sort of crowd almost amassing there.
Will we be given the opportunity to refresh ourselves from our journey before presenting ourselves to the king? I would not want to disrespect him looking as we are currently.
First, I bring you there.
Okay.
Like we just hopped off this like ramshackle rack, you know, raft, and we're like,
Every time you come to a gate, it opens at the wave of the guard's hands. You
We could
enter.
probably
the-
mention, Evelyn will offhandedly say as they might, that we did take care of some of the mimics that had taken up residence in one of your structures.
yeah, I was going to. I don't think this particular gentleman is
They
interested in
might,
adventure.
mostly they might come back, so if they're heading back that way.
Yes, as soon as we talk to someone with authority, of course. Like this guy's just a guard, it seemed like, right?
He presented to from what everything that Evelyn's
Is
seen
he?
more. This is
He's a
probably more
captain.
like a captain.
Okay, maybe that
He
is.
seems. His armor seems a little bit more decorated than the other guards he was with.
And the way he spoke,
Reference
probably, and
is what.
understanding of Vidar
Oh, okay, gotcha.
is where Evelyn.
In
was
that
going. Is
case,
he on the
that's more like, it's an excellent point. I'm sure that the captain here would be very interested, but as he pointed out, it is the most polite to introduce yourself to the king before going about conducting relations with other members of the court, I suppose.
You're not entirely sure if he is taking this all in and thinking about it, or he has begun to just ignore you,
Hmm.
as he just keeps striding forward. You enter the streets of the city, where lights from stone orbs and torches seem to illuminate every inch of the cobbled road. The larger buildings seem to illuminate similarly larger areas, and the first building you pass is enormous. You wander past a colossal open pavilion, surrounded by smaller open stalls and market tents that all seem to carry produce, meats, and other various perishables. However, undeterred by the distraction, the captain marches along, crossing over a bridge that spans above the monolithic chasm extending below. Again, another gate opens, and you enter a district of stone houses larger than the rest you'd seen so far. Akin to mansions in size, many of them seem to board small gardens of fruit trees and other plants you had not seen anywhere else. As the captain approaches the tall palace you had seen far in the distance from your raft, he comes before a gate that does not open as he waves his hand. Instead, an ornate golden helmet appears in one of the many windows of the towers that flank the gate.
Hold, Captain. Word has come. Step inside and await Advisor Bjorgolf.
With only these words, the small window shuts, and without delay, the gate now also creaks open. You follow the captain to the stairs of a palace of white marble stone. Though you see lights inside much of the building's extravagant courtyard, the garden of the courtyard in front of the building itself is not illuminated by any lights, except a soft glow emanating from the palace's towers and surroundings. As the captain reaches the last set of stairs before the courtyard garden, he stops, assuming a almost formal posture, turning his head towards you for a moment.
I would recommend you do what the advisor said. The king who sits the throne of stone is not a very patient dwarf. In fact, the only...
Thank you, Lodvir. A dwarf smaller than his peers comes quickly waddling from the courtyard. The king has received your message, and of course, he is fuming. However, he's also still at the war table. The mess on the peak takes a definite precedent. I am afraid, he turns his attention towards you, the company of Vidar, that you will have to wait until midday tomorrow to state your appeal. In the meantime, Lord Veer, if you would be so kind as to provide them with room and board, the guest house in Servant's Alley should suffice. And, this is on you lot. He gestures at you with a slight disdain. You are to appear before the great King Thorlake, he who sits the stone throne. You should probably take some time of the time you have to put some effort in your appearance. Formal wear is not mandated, but it will help greatly improve the king's mood if you do not appear like common adventurers.
I feel like I just said that.
That last word oozes from the dwarf's mouth with a clear note of disgust attached to it. The captain bows and, still facing the palace, sort of shuffles backwards for a few feet. You get the feeling that there might be a slight mockery involved in the gesture. As the advisor raises his nose, turns on the spot, and leaves, returning to the palace.
Well then, follow me. As we entered the district here, and to the left, now to the right, along the road towards the bridge we did not cross, lies the guest house. For the time being, you have free reign of the city. I'll have you granted access to all common quarters and bridge gate. If you come across a gate that does not open for you, then you are not meant to pass it. Understand?
Understood.
Understood.
You are also free to go to your construct. However, do not have it leave the warehouse until permitted.
Understood.
Turns once again to leave the steps of the palace, heading out a little ways back towards the district you had just left.
Just a quick question. When we were at the palace, did like the air or something feel different there, or was it still cold as it was out on the water?
In general, The air is a little bit more comfortable here. It's not quite as warm as when you pass through the outpost. But it is not as frigid here as it was in the tunnel.
Would I feel like it was normal that there were palm trees growing on that courtyard of the king?
Definitely not.
Okay. Because that was striking me immediately.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Following the captain, you arrive at the guest house a short distance from the palace. And despite its name, the building almost seems like a mansion in its own right.
If you continue along this road over the bridge, you'll arrive at the forge hall. There were smaller shops too, but most sell their wares directly here at the source. It's where you'll find anything useful. You can see the smokestacks from over here. If you're intending to get clothing, as so kindly suggested, return down the other way. Clothing and groceries you'll find around the fresh market. The city is yours to roam. Don't make any trouble or I will be there. Remember, wolves,
He points at you.
thunderhorns.
He points at himself and around him.
Right.
Good thing that under the mask he can't see someone's facial expression.
Could you perhaps, like, say tigers instead of wolves? Us being from the south and whatnot. Not really.
Even with the helmet covering much of his face, you can tell that he furrows his eyebrows before turning to leave.
It's just, like, Slay clearly has a tail still, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's got a feline mask, all the same.
yeah, I know. Like, I thought it's like, I'm like, it's kind of, it's not.
But yeah.
All right. Well then, this is a city.
Certainly is.
Wonderful. We're going to play politics and with the elite and the nobles. It'll be so much fun.
Did Vidal mention any of this, by the way?
I know.
Yeah, fuck him.
Just to get more information. Probably wasn't relevant at the time.
To be honest, in some ways it might be better for us to be in the dark here. Rather than like in on Vidar's plans. I'm not entirely opposed.
Or did you bring any of my nicer clothing? Or am I going to have to go and...
Well, yes, but you'll recall the immense amount of mushrooms and mold. And it was in the bag, so it might be okay, but I'm not sure that it would be quite the formal style here.
Sufficient. I don't need to necessarily accommodate to their noble attire if I've got my own.
No, certainly. I just needed to check and make sure that it's cleaned.
Very well.
Why don't we just, there must be some housekeepers or staff in the mansion. Shall we go in and ask a little bit more?
At least get cleaned up briefly.
Right. I guess we're gonna go
Head
into the hotel desk? I don't know.
You enter through the door into a very sizable reception hall. In this first room, there isn't much furniture. Mostly it is a large room with multiple doorways leading further and deeper into whichever building this is. But at the center, stands a large half-round desk, behind which sits a dwarf.
I will approach this dwarf and ask.
Our way over.
As you approach the desk, you see the dwarf sort of hunched over, writing something in a book.
I will walk up and look at him and click my heels, coming to, making like a sound.
Not looking up, the dwarf points to the left of the desk, where a little ways off you see a bell. There is a note underneath it, which you can't read because it's written in Dwarvish.
I can read.
I walk over to the note and I'm like, Can you read this note, Huxley?
Yeah.
Are you still going by Huxley currently?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
The note quite simply reads, "Ring bell for attendance."
I'll just ring the bell.
You ring the bell and the dwarf looks up from his desk. Yes.
Captain
It's
Low,
like a
dear.
magic bell. I like keep ringing it.
No.
You're
No, it's
only
not.
supposed to ring it once.
Oh,
Thank you.
why are all these dwarfs so mean here?
Look who's talking. Anyway,
You are not from around here, are you?
Oh,
So then I should assume you are not servants of a lord.
we are. Obviously we are. We are
we are.
diplomatic party to receive lodging here.
Well, I
Heard the orders of
suppose
Captain
I
Logan.
meant one of the local lords.
In that case, no.
Hmm.
Do we look like the hirings of some local lord? Is there someone that?
You do
hires
not,
people like us?
but... Well, a couple of years ago, all manner of creature came through here.
And did any remain?
None as far as I can remember. So who is going to be responsible for your stay?
Is it the captain or the advisor to this?
Do you
Uh,
not know? Did you get dropped off here by a bird?
Captain
From the
Lodia
sky.
dropped us off here and had to go about his duties. I
Yeah,
believe
right.
The king's
technically
advisor
we are.
sent us here and
Advisor
mentioned the name.
Yurikov told Captain
I'll just write down both
Aldebar
of them.
to
Thank
have
you.
Yeah.
us brought here.
You'll have a room each. There will be dinner and lunch served. Is there anything else?
Where would we need to
no.
go if we wanted to buy something? Like enchantments.
The forge. Yeah.
Enchantments too? Okay. I thought that
You
was
are
just...
in a city. Take a look around. Your rooms will be in the first hall to the left.
Thank you. Are there any other diplomatic parties or people other than dwarves staying
Only
here at the moment?
servants, and they're in the other corridors. Pick a room. Keys are inside.
Okay. Thank you for your assistance.
Hopefully
I'm
they're
just gonna like
respectable
walk
enough.
away.
I'm a fan of the hospitality here.
Right? I suppose we can pick rooms and get it cleaned up a little, but I think we're headed out places, right?
Evelyn is actually going to probably be staying in.
Okay.
Once she like gets settled in the room. To like essentially like fully prepare herself for like returning back to her noble roots.
Fair enough. Rhett is not going to clean the clothes himself, but is going to get one of these efficient servants to do all the laundry. For the whole party, whatever there is. Make sure everything's cleaned and pressed in.
Is there a mirror in our room?
Yes. Every one of the rooms is relatively well equipped. You have a wardrobe, you have a full separate room with a bath, a toilet.
Nice. Yeah, so like, it's just
Comparatively,
gonna...
it's almost luxurious to how you've spent the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I guess if there's the possibility, he's gonna take a bath and then spend some time in front of the mirror to find to change Blue Tiger's appearance in a way with his magic that looks more regal, but yeah, still look like Blue Tiger in the end. Just doing changes here and there, like make the robe he's wearing out of silk instead of normal cloth.
Do you
and
attempt to copy any specific style as you do that?
I don't think Soleil would know anything about styles.
Okay.
He would just go by feeling and just make it look as regal as he can imagine. If it's regal or not, I guess someone like Evelyn will have to decide in the
Give
end.
me a
If you ask
give me a
Evelyn, she
wisdom
would-
throw.
I mean, right now, I guess everyone is in their room for now, or... I don't know.
Depends
He-
on like
He's around a
when you
noble
do it.
family. He might know.
Yeah, I guess they would meet in between. Like, yeah, he would change it and maybe ask someone if that's alright or something. I don't know. There will be time to do that, I guess. Sure. At some point he's gonna knock at Evelyn's door and be like, "You think this will be alright?" I don't know if it is alright, Becca. Do I have to roll something or
Give me a wisdom check.
wisdom? Okay. Ooh, that's a natural 18 plus 2.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
As Soleil, or Blue Tiger, opens the door, you see that most of what Soleil has changed is turn parts of his almost usual clothing, a little bit more regal. There are some more adornments, a couple of extra rims along the edges of his coat. And a lot of it is silk. It looks maybe a little bit tacky, but all in all, definitely better than what he used to wear.
It's possible, for sure. Not probably what you'll necessarily see in the fashion of most upper society currently, though I can't speak to dwarven attire as I haven't seen theirs. Maybe something the lower upper class might wear. It's possible. If you're using magic, though, they might notice that and see it as more as a if they have any way of detecting those sort of things, it could be almost seen as more out of place concerning that the clothing isn't what you're showing isn't even what it actually is, and so less passable. But if they don't notice, it's fine enough.
I guess if we buy clothes, we can take a look if we find something for me too, but for now maybe you can give me a couple hints what to change to make it even more passable, maybe.
Silk is a bit outdated currently, maybe 40, 50 years ago in fashion, but really not.
Oh, Lorana always liked it, so I thought, well, you just tell me.
In proper conditions it can work, not really like that though. It's considering the temperatures, probably something more like velvet or some sort of material like that would probably be more fitting and harder to get a hold of, which would make it more valuable, and it would speak more to your worth and value.
Okay, I guess he's gonna just change things until Evelyn is fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in the end, he's gonna ask her, do you think this version or this version would be better for our cause? And in the second version, he just makes himself like 1 foot taller because he can do that with that spell. Like, would you think like showing dominance by being taller is a good thing or not?
Well, considering they're all dwarves, so already got them beat by a good few feet. If you really want to kick them where it hurts, by all means, I encourage you to go about it. But, again, if they can tell that it's magic at all, it undermines the message you're trying to pass.
I guess I'm gonna keep my height then.
You're still easily having able to look down on anyone here, though.
Yeah, I know, but like these people, I just would like to mess with them. I just don't like them so far.
Going around in the city, by all means. Most people in the streets won't notice, I doubt. If you're trying to make a good deal at a shop anywhere, maybe pass up on it. But not really.
Alright. Thanks for the help.
So he's going to be heading off into the lake. What?
Oh yeah, by the way, that walking into the lake, how far can you give commands again? How far away?
Vint will follow a command until wherever I tell it to go. So if I tell Vint to walk all the way back to where we found him, or where I created him, he would do everything in his power to fulfill the commands that I gave him.
No, the problem is like, could you like from how far away could you give him another command?
He'd have to be able to hear me.
Okay, he would have to be able to hear you. So if he actually walked into the center of the lake,
Then I'll find him. But then he'll be out of their reach as well, and that's what's most important to me.
okay. Alright. Thank you for your help.
Evelyn will resume carefully casting Detect Magic through her room to make sure that there is nothing in her room that she doesn't know what it is. As far as any sort of like magical presence of anything. Because she's suspicious and being meticulous.
Mm-hmm. Looking around, you would very easily see from the lack of auras that there's nothing magical in your room.
And afterwards, she will take out the skull that Vidar has talked to her on multiple occasions and set it into the room to see if Vidar reaches out at any point in time while she continues going about her normal, like, carefully, meticulously cleaning out the grime and dirt from, like, every, like, fingernail and random, because they've been traveling for forever.
Yeah, you spend quite a while sort of freshening up. But at no point during it does the skull give a single peep from it.
She can be patient sometimes. But that's probably what she'll be doing for most of the time while everybody else is out doing things.
I mean, yeah, Red just quickly gets cleaned up. It doesn't take too long. And he's somewhat concerned about Huxley posing as a dwarf in a dwarven city, so is relatively soon outside of his room waiting on other people to be ready to go shopping, I guess.
Would you tell everyone that you would that you went shopping?
Yeah. It was like, whenever everyone feels cleaned up enough, I'll be ready to go shopping.
If we see
Or out on the
something,
town.
I'd like, by all means, go ahead and pick it up for me. I trust you.
Alright, noted.
Yes, Soleil will follow you. He's looking out for someone who could do small enchantments. Still looking for someone who could, like, give his notebook a command word that only makes the pages be seen by someone who can say the command word. Otherwise it looks like random doodles. Because he's still feeling like if he loses this notebook to someone, there's a lot of information they could take out of it.
That's fair. I was going to head to the forges first, the forge hall. Feel like we might find something like that there. Have you seen Huxley come out yet? Did Huxley go in your room even?
Huxley seems to be asleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Huxley's dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
dear.
died.
Tree's dead.
I saw him walk off into the crowd and then he changed again and I'll never know who he is.
This is just where he leaves us. I finished my mission.
True,
Done.
right? Done, bye.
Peace.
Well, I mean, we can get started with shopping and if Huxley had...
Yeah.
I guess we head toward the forge hall. You said it was over here?
Maybe. Yes, that's over here.
That's where the smoke
You
is.
can see the smokestacks rise far above the rest of the city and its walls. So, the three of you head out?
Probably. I think Huxley's probably gonna come.
I assume she's going, or Huxley's going with them.
Yeah.
You head out of the guest house, immediately right. The gate does open as you approach. And soon you find yourself crossing one of these massive stone bridges. Along the side of these bridges are statues. A lot of statues, all of dwarves that, without trying to say anything, to you look all very similar. You see long beards that cover most of the face and reach almost down the entire length of their bodies. Most of the dwarves are clad in armor, but all seem vaguely similar to the neck.
Probably kings of the past.
And eventually you reach the other side of the bridge, and through another gate, step onto a plaza spanning almost the entire district around a large building with smokestacks that belch white steam and smoke into the air. Can you give me a perception check?
Sure.
Dirty.
25.
Soleil, you specifically notice as you enter this district, along the sides before this great forge towering in front of you, there is a small shop somewhere off to your right. It looks incredibly run down, almost abandoned, despite the light emanating from inside. But what catches your attention are the signs outside of the shop. Above the storefront you see the clear picture of a bow and arrow. And although most of the writing is in Dwarven and unreadable to you, some of the signs in the Windows display stand out to you. If the Dwarven system of counting is similar to every other culture with common sense, and a single line indicates a 1 and 2 lines indicate a 2, then for whatever reason it looks like everything in that shop is less than half. Whatever that means.
Hopefully it's not the quality of the goods. Yeah, but Soleil points over to that shop and says to Red, "That looks interesting, doesn't it?"
But is that a discount shop?
Maybe.
I mean, hey, maybe we'll get some friendlier service.
I mean, yeah,
Although-
for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a nice arrow, a nice bow, but I mean,
Yeah,
doesn't
sure.
hurt to look, right? We're stuck here until tomorrow midday anyway.
I always find, that people of my class are much friendlier than some of the hoity-toities. But okay, let's head in that direction.
Whenever I mentioned dwarfs, I felt like They might be cool people to hang out with, but the city is kind of
Some of the ones we
let
met
down.
have been, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but the people in this city are kind of a letdown. I thought it would be much more fun here. Especially after that whole trip we got to get here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we're just in the high quest district, and
Yeah.
I think that's true of any city, really. We'll find someplace eventually. I'm sure where they're friendly.
Yeah.
We'll try the shop first.
Sorry, I was gone for like 10 minutes.
You're
Yeah,
fine.
we just took you with us shopping.
We had
Okay.
assumed you had died.
Oh,
We
sorry.
were like preparing a funeral and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were making a new character. Huxley's job was to get them here. Huxley
Yeah.
did that, so new character.
New character, Xu. Oh, a pipe in my kitchen broke.
Oh gosh.
Oh no!
Well, it seems like it just popped out.
Okay, is it fixed now?
Like, yeah, like where two pipes connect. It kind of like
Huh.
broke. All our like pipes and stuff are not the best quality. And on Thursday, an outside pipe broke, and we think that when they fixed that, they just popped the inside pipe out or whatever. But yeah, I just had to fix that.
Okay.
And now you're
So-
shopping. Out of nowhere.
You enter the shop at the side of the street.
I was gonna say Huxley wouldn't have made any changes as long until someone tells him to, like to his appearance.
Mm-hmm.
As you
Huxley's
enter,
like clothes morph, right? Like they're
they are a part. If they
Yeah,
change,
that's
then
what I
they are a part of Huxley.
that's
Yes.
that's what I thought. Huxley's just naked all the time.
No, I don't think I can change my clothes.
I
Oh, really?
mean,
I mean, if you let me, sure. I just thought Huxley has like really loose kind of layers of clothing that he switches
you
between.
could probably make it look like you have different clothes. But again, they won't actually be clothes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm actually wearing normal clothes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Good.
We'll get
I
Huxley some
mean,
clothes.
I just mean like Huxley is wearing like normal clothes, but multiple
Right.
different layers, like different sizes,
Right,
kind of
right.
very flexible stuff. Yeah.
Getting flashbacks to that one time. Had a choke werebear, but never mind. Anyways,
no.
as you enter the store to the side of the road, you see bows and arrows strung upon the walls, but no one inside. There's a lantern at the desk at the far end where presumably the merchant would sit and you would pay, but currently there is no one.
I'll walk over to that desk and see if there's a bell.
There is no bell.
Is there like
Sign.
a is there yeah, sure. Is there a back room that they might have gone off to?
There is a door. There is also a staircase leading further up.
I'll just call out like, "Hello, we're at the desk."
Very
Okay.
faintly, you hear something break. It's and then and The footsteps get louder and louder, and the door from the back of the shop flies open. And you look at a exhausted-looking dwarf, looking almost confused, especially as he looks into the room and sees people he probably definitely didn't expect today. A red tiefling, a man in a blue tiger mask, is definitely taller than a dwarf.
The dwarf.
And a very small dwarf.
Sorry, greetings.
Hello. We new to the city and noticed that you sell bows, and my friend here uses bows.
Yes, yes. I am a cutter. I am a fletcher. I make arrows and the bows.
I'm Rhett. This is Blue Tiger, and this is Huxley.
I'm selling everything you see. It can all go.
We saw the signs outside. Is this some kind of special prize time, or what do they mean? I'm sorry, we don't speak Dwarven.
I'm getting rid of everything. Probably going to change professions or something. Going out of business.
Oh, how come?
Nobody in Height here uses bows and arrows anymore.
Oh,
There are no hunters, and everyone else prefers guns, or, well, at least some of them still use some sort of crossbow.
that's just because they don't know what they're doing. But yeah.
It's true.
You
That's the only
think
reason
you
I
have
was-
anything that could beat the quality of this one? And I'm just showing him hit my longbow +2 to see if he can like tell the quality compared to his own work.
He holds your bow in both of his hands and sort of slowly goes along the wood.
Well, I have something different of maybe better quality, but maybe not all qualities.
That sounds mysterious, but also intriguing.
He comes out from behind his counter and walks over to the side of the wall. He pulls a bow from the wall that has almost wings carved into the wood of the bow.
I have plenty of arrows around. Mithril arrows are limited, but of the others I can always make more.
You can buy any number of regular +1 ammunition from this shop if you
Uh-huh. The bow is kinda cool. I guess more flavor-wise than mechanically-wise, but it is cool. Alright. What are the prices for these? Just to get a feeling if that is in a range we can afford.
Well, that depends. How would you like to pay?
Oh, you have different kinds of payment here? We are used to just use gold.
You aren't from around here, are you?
No.
For about 2.5 years, we have no longer used coin currency.
Oh.
There are several types of currency now. Anything that will keep the forges running. Oil shale, refined oil, blasting powder, and dragonfire liquid. There's also mithril ingots, perishable meat. Red meat is worth more than fish meat, and fruit is most expensive. If you get your hands on Strano more, even better.
I see.
So, is regular precious metals of any use?
I suppose there is a difference in precious.
Yes, apologies. Are gold and platinum of any use?
To a craftsman and merchant in the city, hardly. Perhaps there is a church somewhere in the city. They sometimes require some gold. Maybe you could get some trade goods there.
You think I could
You'd
get something?
Probably be best off bartering somehow.
You think I could get something for this kind of stuff? And I'm just showing a couple art objects that I found at some point that are worth 25 gold pieces each, but I don't know what they're worth down here.
Well, they're certainly pretty, but afraid not really any use to me. Perhaps someone at the other market could help you.
Right. Well, what about other types of magical items? Are those taken in trade at times? Are those legal to trade, first of all?
Everything you have to barter, you can barter.
So for you, what would your
Don't think
preferred payment method be?
Well, I suppose anything of worth that is not perishable. I may have to use it for a while. So I would take oil or ingots as payment.
And is this something where one could, for like a large sum, procure a note from a oil storage place saying that I have the rights to this type of oil, so that I didn't have to like physically bring oil here to you?
See him
Is that
sort
how
of
it works?
scratch his head.
I don't know how that would work.
So you would
How
like physically
would
want
you
a
then
barrel of
get
oil?
The oil.
Thanks, sorry.
Like for
You
example,
would have
like this.
given me a paper that says I have the oil, but I do not have the oil.
Yeah,
So just to get a
he wants
feeling,
to know what base are.
just to get a feeling for this kind of stuff, like how much oil, for example, would you want to have for this bow? Just to get a feeling, like, of numbers here.
Mhm.
Well, considering it's all half of if we're talking bottled, then perhaps 40.
40 bottles. Is there like a regular size of bottles in the city, or what if the bottles are different sized?
They're all kind of the same size.
Okay.
Is there a standard oil selling price?
Oh, they're all
Or
bartering, I suppose. Originally it comes from the mines as oil shale, which people also trade. But it is worth more when it is refined. And the refinery is at the other side of the city.
okay.
Now I have this weird thought: how much oil does fit into a bag of holding?
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yep. Let's break into the refinery and just become rich. So yeah, Red, it seems like we have a problem here. Like,
I suppose.
yeah. We basically have no money. Even though we do have money, but we don't.
We have a lot of stuff we don't need, though. Is there a primary a market for... So if I went down the mines to this oil place, would they accept barters for just about most common things?
Well, you go down into the mines to work for ore and oil shale. The refinery is not down there.
Okay.
It is the other side of the city, near the cave wall.
Right. If I went to the refinery. Okay, like you're a craftsman, right?
Right. A Fletcher.
A Fletcher, right. So clearly you don't usually work the mines, I would
No.
think. Let's say that I am a person who has a collection of magic items. Where would I go to sell them in exchange for oil, for example, that is more easily used to trade?
Probably the forge hall.
Okay, perfect. I suppose we should head there before we try to negotiate with anyone else then. Considering that we don't have either ore or oil to trade with you at this point.
Yeah, very well.
Alright, then I guess thanks for your help. Maybe we'll come back if we manage to make some oil. And yeah. See ya.
You see, he looks a little disappointed as you leave, and as you exit, you are pretty much immediately in front of the Forge Hall. You just wander inside.
Yeah.
Okay. You step inside through a pair of very large gates that stand open to the outside. There's this stream of warm but almost dense air that moves towards you as you enter, pushing past you and out into the open. And you enter a large, spacious hall, ringed by pillars on either side of its convex walls. At the end of this large hall, you see forges, you see anvils, you see plenty of dwarves forming and forging. But you also see along this hall, on tables, arrayed a number of items. There are several dwarves in here that clearly do not work or particularly belong here. Mostly looking around and shopping.
Are there any, like, buskers?
Like, playing
Like
music?
street performers, yeah.
Not in here.
Were there any on the street before we walked in the door?
What is your passive investigation?
12?
You would not have noticed any on the path that you had taken.
Okay. So like, Rhett walks in and like looks around and is like, oh man, I have no idea what we're doing here.
Yeah, me neither.
Listen, Blue Tiger, I think we're all a bit out of our element here. It would be really helpful if somebody like that knew the city could give us some of the insight on the goings on and like prices and whatnot. We could try to negotiate for stuff here, but I'd feel better if we went like, I don't know, hired a guide or something. What do you think?
I mean, if we can find one, there don't seem to be many visitors here nowadays, so just like being a
Think
Fletcher,
that's
that
the
might
way
be a job that
sometimes
isn't
they-
been. Oh yeah, Huxley has Huxley been here before?
What do you mean?
I realize you're a guide, but like, you're not really a city guide, right?
Yeah, I've never been to this city.
That's what I mean. I want to hire a guide like you, but that it has been to the city. Because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be really useful.
it would, right? Okay,
But how
let's...
do we pay the guide?
Beer.
How do we pay the beer?
Or something.
Exposure.
I wasn't gonna say that. Oh no. Okay, we're not going to the forge hall because we're just gonna get ripped off. So let's go find a guide.
Where do we find a guide?
Why don't you ask some people? You seem like you're a dwarf right now. They might
Okay.
be easier.
I go up to the next person.
Okay, you go to the next person inside the forge hall, or
Just the
You
next
go
person I
outside.
see.
okay.
Ask them about like a college.
Just
a
as someone
bards.
is about to enter into the hall, you see Huxley just beelining straight for them.
Hello. I will speak in Dwarvish.
Harag? Hello?
You know where we can find a guide? Or a bard college?
Guide for what?
Oh, for the city. Because we're new here and we don't really know what's going on.
I don't know if the city has guide. Maybe ask a guard.
Okay.
Well, what are you looking for? What do you want to know?
I look back at Rex. What do you want to know?
We need all kinds of advice on all kinds of things. Buying and selling.
We need
Lo-
all
local
kinds
politics.
of advice on all kinds of things.
Who's who. We're lost.
Good thing that Evelyn can see us right now.
Right, and you leave your parents somewhere, or
Yeah, basically. Are you
Yeah.
saying that to the short little?
anything in particular aside from everything?
Like, how do you pay? How do you get money?
You do work like anywhere else,
That's kind of right.
or you sell stuff like anywhere else.
That makes sense.
Right.
If I needed a personal servant, where would I go to find one of those?
Personal servants. Well, that would be a lot of coin. Perhaps servant alley. Those are mostly lord servants, but
Sure.
could look in the Pura district. It's not too far.
That sounds great. Where is that?
Also, if you exit out of the forge hall, you just keep going straight. It's a little offset, but you'll get there. Then it's a couple of stairs down, and you'll see plenty of houses that are
He almost leans over and whispers,
not made of stone.
Thank you. You have been the most helpful so far. And Rhett like looks at his lands like, not uppity dwarves. That's where we need to go. I guess we don't go in the forge hall and just go to find someone who can explain the world to us because we have no idea what's going on.
Like, when we are in here, do we see any kind of like other things that he mentioned that are payment? Do we see like oil bottles, or do we see bars of any kind of like gold or iron or whatever?
if you sort of hang around for a little while and watch people doing trade, then yeah, you would see people handing over these small flasks of oil, stacks of ingots, and several other items.
Look, Red. If it doesn't work otherwise, we have to use drastic measures. You can turn me invisible. We can get stuff for free.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Okay, well, maybe after we conduct our business with the king.
Yeah, probably the better plan to wait.
I
But we need the
realize
money to like
we
dress
are
up.
professional at breaking and entering at this point, but listen, maybe not right now.
If I mean, no one's watching, yo. Just take it.
No.
Why not?
Because I said so. Yep. We're all gonna be in prison.
Was just an idea. I
yeah.
don't like it, but it would be a way. Just saying.
Should mention at this point regarding the place you are in. The level of craftsmanship, magical craftsmanship available, you in this city would have access to any and all uncommon item.
We'll get back to that then.
Yes. Of course.
Also, Huxley technically has advantage on charisma checks against dwarves because he has a really cool belt. But I don't know how much that is like offset by him being very uncharismatic.
I mean, you get advantage, you just, have a low modifier, I suppose.
Yeah.
I want to go to the poor district. Take me now.
Okay, you, with a very quick stride, just exit right back out of the forge hall and into the cold air of the open space. Indeed, as you look across the plaza, as you exit directly out of the large hall, which seems to hold sort of the main merchants, you see a smaller pathway. There are multiple gates leading out of this district, and there are plenty of staircases to go down, as you were told.
Okay. I will make sure to secure most of my things into the bag of holding backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Just make note of that.
What does most of your things mean? What would you keep on your immediate person?
Like, weapons, the shield are still out. Like, I don't know, maybe 10 gold, but it's gold and people don't seem to care, so I don't know if that matters.
Okay.
And like one of the instruments.
Okay. You head through the farthest gate, that is the most opposing the fortress entrance, just to make sure you're really headed in the right direction. And after making your way down a couple of flights of stairs, you arrive in a district that is very different from the rest of the city. Indeed, as the dwarf proclaimed, most of these huts are made of wood instead of stone. But as previously in the rest of the city, most of the people you see running around are dwarves, though perhaps a little less finely dressed.
Does it seem like it's mostly residential then?
From where you're standing, yes.
Is it easy to see from like when we were walking to the stairway, this like stage thing over here across the way?
You probably would have seen roughly it's outside. You would have definitely seen tents and sort of, what do you call it?
Like an open market type of amphitheater.
Like spanned pieces of cloth that are colorful. You would have definitely seen above the structure. You would not have been able
Banners?
to really see inside.
Okay. Okay. If it's not too far, I'd like to head over there.
Okay. Yeah, it's just across the way, up another flight of stairs. Are the rest of you following, by the way? Soleil and Huxley.
Yeah, I'm just following.
Okay.
Yeah.
You come to what seems to be a little bit more of a common place here. You see, much like on the other side of the city, market stalls, but the wares on offer are a lot sparser. Most of it, again, is produce. But it all looks a little not the freshest, not the best looking.
Brett is trying to look for a rat. So
For a what?
he's looking for the dwarven equivalent of himself. He's like, who around here seems friendly and open and for hire? And I mean, he'll say this to like Soleil and Huxley. All right, we just need to find somebody who knows the city and is generally honest and seems like they're open to working for us for a little bit.
Give me a perception or an insight check.
I think they're the same. Oh, it's better. A 17. Like, he's been around poorhouses a lot of his life. Like, he should be able to kind of...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that person's probably actually good people and that type of thing.
Was that a 17 total?
Yes.
Okay. You look around as you see sort of smaller dwarves running around. You grab your bag of holding a little bit tighter. But as you examine the general market area, you see a couple of people just sort of lounging around, sitting around. And a little ways in the corner, you also see a group of people gambling. One of them, however, sits just a little ways off to the side. And every so often, he looks over at the people gambling and smiles and shakes their head.
Right. I guess I had to talk to him. If he seems wise enough not to gamble. I'd walk up to the game. And I assume everyone looks at us because we look really out of place.
Yes, there are, wherever you go, eyes on you in the city. You have not seen a not dwarf since you've come here.
Mhm.
And as you walk up to the game, the first person to notice you is, of course, the person handling the dice. And just as they're about to yell something in your direction, from the side, from the person just sitting a little ways off, you hear, "Come, friend, over here. Perhaps a drink."
Perhaps.
You
This
see
was the guy that was watching the game.
Yes, you see the gambler sort of throwing a side eye his way, but keeps his head down and continues the game with the others.
Did he ask me to summarize specifically? I go and sit. Is he at a table? I don't know.
He just sort of sits leaning against the wall, but as you would come closer, he stands up, dusts off his skirt a little bit, and walks a little bit over to the side, a little bit more out of earshot of the gambler. You are a smart man not to go over there. He was looking for his next mark.
I should not be surprised.
You know, of course, the games are rigged.
Oh, of course.
You should
All
never
of them
play 3 stone cap on the street. There is no reason to play it on the street unless you're cheating to begin with.
That's good advice. Do you give good advice? Or are you looking for a mark?
Well, perhaps I am only looking for someone interesting.
Well, that you have found.
You look very interesting.
I think we all take that as compliment.
Well, take it however you like. You are twice the size of anyone here.
At least as tall, maybe is not as broad, but thank
Maybe half as wide.
you. Yes. What is your name and profession? I am Red, this is Blue Tiger, and Huxley.
Well, profession. Suppose you could call it a wise man on the street. Name is Vestgear.
I see, best here.
It's Vestgear Isolf's son, but never had much to do with my old man.
I don't suppose you'd be for hire for a brief guide of the city. We're new to town, and well, we've been walking around talking to various people, and to be honest, a lot of the people in some of the other parts of the city are not the most kind of strangers. But you, however, have been very kind, right off the bat.
Now he sort of narrows his eyes. Maybe I have just become a monk. You seem pretty smart on your own. What would you need a guide for?
Well, we are somewhat unfamiliar with local customs and personalities, more so than, I don't know, negotiating.
How did you even come here?
Well, that is a very long tale.
Very long.
We spent like many months underground traveling here from the south.
Right, and
Leave it at that.
What brought you to the city in the first place? Why come here?
That's another long tale.
You do not look like you would want to be here.
True, but also not true, but mostly true.
Well, I invited you over for a drink, but the truth is, don't really have a drink. At least not a drink you would share with someone.
That's not a problem. We have that. Well, actually, not one of those. We didn't take the backpack from Evelyn, did we?
Nope.
Nope.
That's fine. I'm sure we could trade something for a drink easy enough.
Then perhaps a couple of drinks, perhaps some stories, and you would have your guide?
Sure.
You don't seem entirely convinced.
I was convincing you. What's going on here? I thought let's go get a drink.
Perhaps we are each other's mark.
Blue Tiger, keep an eye on this guy. And
So,
me.
Blue Tiger's just wondering how you're gonna pay for
do you
the
know
drinks.
the name of the city?
High tier? Yes.
Well, that is a start. Yes,
And we
you
know
are
the name
in
of the king.
Hytir, the last great city of the dwarves. Ruled
We have
over
been told that
by he who sits on a chair of stone.
That is such a lame name.
Well, they say throne of stone, but I was making it. Never mind.
A toilet.
King
got it.
Thorlake rules over the city.
Indeed.
We've heard he
We
can
have
be
meeting
quite
with him.
difficult.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
We've heard he can be quite the personality.
Like any dwarf in recent history. They say that your grudges grow as long as your beard. There are plenty of long beards in the city.
Let's see.
I'm checking out Huxley's beard.
It's not that long, I think.
Not many
It's very
grudges.
bushy.
Well, who else do you want to know about? Who else do you have business with?
At the moment, we would like to do business in the forge, but we are quite unfamiliar with this concept of buying and selling with oil and ingots and whatnot. We just use gold and platinum. Or
Relatively simple. It's bartering system, but
We got that much,
the
and
most
that's fine.
common trades have become a sort of currency. Mainly
Sure.
because, well, you would work for currency. Now you work for material. In the mines, you can easily get oil shale for a day's work. You can get mithril for a day's work. You can trade those.
Which is all fine and well, but we do have many items that we could trade. It's just I wouldn't want to get ripped off because I have no idea how much oil is worth.
Right. Well,
You see my problem there?
the problem with that is that it is sort of... it changes. I could give you a relative rundown in terms of what they are worth to each other.
Yeah, sure. I suppose that'd be helpful.
Well, so a piece of oil shale, usually the size of a fist, that is the size they are crushed in, would be half the price of a ingot of mithril. A small flask of oil, as they are given out by the refinery, is worth 5 times the price of an oil shale. I think the reason for that is that you need 5 pieces of oil shale to produce one of those flasks. Then if you have blasting powder, it would be worth around 4 times what a flask of oil would be worth. If you have any dragonfire liquid, do not ask me where to get that. I have never seen one in my life. It's easily worth 5 times what blasting powder is.
Alright. To relate this back to something I do understand, about 1 gold would get me all the food that I need in a day. At like a moderately middle income type of establishment.
Right.
Is that the same as a shale-ish? Could I trade 1 piece of oil shale for all the food I need in a day?
Not quite. The reason for which is there is certain food that is worth a lot more because there is not much of it. So let's say small bag of fish would run you about the same price of a small mithril ingot. If you had a bag of red meat, you could trade it for a oil flask. If you had a basket of, say, fruit, you could probably trade it for something like multiple bags of blasting powder or even the dragonfire liquid, perhaps. It's sort of out of my range of experience. I have not seen fruit in quite a while.
Alright, so an oil flask on its own would be like a couple days worth of fish. Would that be about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't
And
like
of
me to
course, you
continue-
would get all of the other available foods you would want. Dried meats, nuts, vegetables, breads. You could get those for oil shale as well, I suppose.
I don't mean to get into RPA, but I'm just like trying to get feeling of how much things should be worth, so he doesn't get scammed immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I suppose that answers most of the questions about trade. Is there any happenings in the city that we really should know about so we don't look completely dumb, such as there's something going on at the peak?
There were several things the last few months. One, there is this recent thing at the peak. Have not been there in a while. That is where Tranum would be mined, but currently there seems to be some sort of problem with wild animals of sorts. What I've heard from the guards. They've barred the entrances, and I've seen soldiers and scouts move out there, and well, unless they're making camp up there, many of them have not come back. And then several weeks ago there was another visitor. It looked very different from any of you lot. A big, hulking, almost a giant, it looked like. They were strange. They killed a lot of people.
A giant.
Well, not quite a giant, but well, they were probably easily 4 or 5 dwarfs wide. Maybe 3 of you tall.
Specific kind of armor?
How does that now count as a giant?
Well, somewhat rusty. Metal, but dark.
Mm-hmm. Does that remind us of any Dominion member we've ever met? I don't remember how they all look. Yeah, I'm asking you as the DM. Because I don't remember all the descriptions of or how they looked. Was there anyone with rusty armor? Because I always imagined them like having like actually like high quality armor, not really rusty
You
armor.
do not remember any with a rusty armor. You remember one who was very large with black armor, but it certainly wasn't rusty.
Okay. Was there ever... Did anyone ever saw their face?
Do not particularly know. They, I believe, approached the king for something, and when they left, they tore through the northern gate, which leads to the peak.
And afterwards there were like wild animals causing problems, or was that before that?
Well, not immediately. Do you think the two are connected?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to find out, but I don't know if that's some super powerful being. It could be that the animal...
That is a thought, but they did not seem the animal type. Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe they didn't...
Several weeks in between where I do not think anything happened, but...
Yeah, maybe they just didn't do it on purpose, but maybe they did something that caused the wildlife to go nuts.
Certainly possible. I just figured they just had to go out that way.
That's something good to be aware of. Was there anything else notable recently?
Well, the price of fruit has gotten ridiculous, but we've talked about that one.
You think someone would pay us if it dealt with the animal problem?
Well, most certainly, but there's been a lot of soldiers going up there and not returning. No offense, you do not look like. On your own, you could. You could certainly offer your help to the guard.
Have you ever heard about Antogark?
Not particularly. Is that another mountain?
It's a city. But,
Of
yeah.
your kind?
Yes.
Which would be... He sort of stares at your mask.
The tiger kind.
Which would be...
You guys have cats?
Rarely, yes. With the one
Much
with
larger.
the long teeth, right? Like too big, almost like tusks.
Saber
Okay, you
tooth.
thought yeah, but less smaller teeth.
Right.
And a person.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Where we come from,
Yes.
it is.
Huh. Learn something every day.
Oh, well, you've been very helpful in answering our questions. Did you want? Did you have questions? Were you at this point interested in accompanying us a little bit around the city? Probably only like the rest of today.
Perhaps. There is always more I could learn, and there is always that to drink.
Yes, of course. So, Rhett has like dug in his bag a little bit and just come out with some of the like rations that we have left over. Because I think we had like, at least 2 days of rations left. No, 3, I think. So if that's like dried meat and stuff, then I assume you could easily trade that for a drink.
Also, my friend, do you think honey is worth anything here, or is that rather rare, or not that rare?
You could probably get a decent price for honey.
Because I still think we have some, right? From the...
Yeah, yep, we do have some.
You have like
Do
a
we still have
10-pound
that-
barrel.
Yeah, it was like a pretty good amount.
You have 10 pounds of honey
Mm-hmm.
in a barrel.
Do we still have that thing that makes beer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're opening the bar, baby.
Imagine if you had like create food and water and you could like make fruit. Like just make fruit all day long.
Mm-hmm.
You need to preface that with making food that isn't cursed all day long.
That would help, but
You-
that's not a requirement. As long as we're not cursed. No, just kidding. So they
Oh,
would still drink
actually-
it.
Do we have like hardtack or something?
You have what?
Like our rations are like hardtack or something, right? Or like a hard biscuit type of thing.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
You definitely have hardtack amongst your like ration.
I'm gonna just hand him it and then press digitation. It just tastes like a strawberry, just a really fresh strawberry. Here, have one of these.
You gotta fucking break this man's world, dude.
This poor dude.
He takes a bite and texture wise, it's clearly hardtack.
Mhm.
It's crumbly, it's dry.
Okay, I soak it in a little
But-
water first.
No,
Whatever.
to him, it tastes like strawberry, and it has the texture of strawberry. And he just stares at it. That is strange.
It's not quite the same thing as fruit, but it's as close as we got sometimes.
How do you make this?
Magic.
You just do this to bread?
Yeah.
You just eat this bread all day?
It can taste like anything you can imagine.
Forgive my crassness, but could you make it taste like manure?
Do you want to take another bite?
Not of this, not for me, perhaps. I was just thinking. He takes another bite. Does it still taste of strawberry?
Yes.
He keeps eating till it's gone.
So we have some business to do. You coming along or not?
Perhaps I still have the rest of the day, so there is more of that bread, perhaps.
Yep. We're the best. We are totally not incredibly condescending foreigners.
Time to exploit your poverty. Okay, so you head out, you just return to the Fort Chong, or is there anywhere in particular you head?
I'm done with that at this point, understanding how the currency kind of works.
So you return to the Fort Chong?
Unless Soleil or Sue wanted something more down here. Also,
No, just following.
Okay. So, as you return to the district, you notice that there's a little bit more scrutiny from the guards as you pass by. As you know, 3 people left and then 4 people return. But for the moment, at least, they seem to let it slide. And before long, you stand again before the forge hall. And as you can, take your time, look at all the iron. I would say we take like a 10 or 15 minute break because I really gotta go pee.
that's good.
Okay, I already chose a couple that might be interesting.
Do we want to pick out what we're good selling?
Yeah.
Just like, well, figures now. Don't think we want this.
Oh, you already. Oh, you got these, and okay, these are the things, and all. That's the thing. All uncommon magical items. He said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying immovable rod, guys, because that's always a good thing to have.
Wait, those are the things we can get here, right?
These things
Yes.
plus all
In here.
all
Plus any
uncommon
uncommon.
magical items.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a lot. Crash and burn the fists.
think the stone whale is be pretty cool for Huxley.
Which one?
This
The stone
ticket.
whale.
Let's see, petrify people.
Oh, it's also +2. That's also neat.
Yeah.
What? Okay, it gets sewn. It's cool.
Oh, or the quick hammer will work too.
Yeah,
+2 weapon.
petrification is really cool.
Yeah.
There's also another pick down here. What does it do?
It's kind of the same, but without the petrification.
Oh yeah.
If the whale is too expensive, I could get the quick hammer.
That's a potion, a rage potion. That's interesting. If you
Yeah.
drink it, you basically have a barbarian rage. Holy shit, can you imagine like Soleil also having like the rage feature? Like he would go completely nuts. Heavy armor.
I mean, we can get the potion.
Guess I have to go 1 level barbarian.
Yeah, or a multi-class.
I don't even remember what it does, but rage is nice usually.
Gives you resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Yeah, I mean also that, but like also did it also do like additional damage and stuff?
Yeah, but not like a +2, I think. Additional dash.
I mean when you hit 7 times, that is
That does add up.
that yeah.
This would be great for Evelyn, right?
Yeah. It would probably do the +1. I technically have most of those tools in my bag somewhere.
I have most of the tools in it.
Oh well, yeah. Sorry, you have most of those tools in your bag, but it would be nice to just have them on hand.
It would save me a lot of space.
I don't think the construct spell would work for Vince because I already have something that allows that's very similar, and Vince very distinctively different.
Yeah.
Welcome back, that girl.
It's all cold outside.
Yeah.
But +1 would be neat.
Yeah. Like this sword would be cool if like it had +1 actually, but it doesn't. Same as this armor. If it had +1, I would be interested, but I don't want to lower my armor class.
This lantern is really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
The bracers all sound pretty cool. Huxley's gonna start working in the city to avoid all the magic items.
Okay. How go your deliberation?
Okay. Jess, is there anything that should stand out to me for Evelyn?
Not really. I mean, I think like the only thing that potentially would be that. Nothing else. I don't think I can't do heavy crossbow, and the other crossbow I do more damage with the other one that I have currently. So.
I guess for me the rallying horn would be interesting. Gonna blow my horn each combat for you guys.
Brap.
Which one would let's see one?
I think the stone whale.
Stone whale. Yeah.
It's a pretty cool one.
Were there any weapons that you were looking at, Alvin?
No, for a moment there I thought the Spiker and Striker sounded like really cool, but in the end it's just like... It would just be a downgrade for my weapons right now, damage-wise, because like it's just a dagger and the other one is a warhammer.
Okay.
What's the warhammer damage again? Like 1d8 or something, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Or what? Even if it's 1d10, like and the dagger is a 1d4. So right now I have like 2d6 for both weapons. So even with the bonus damage, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. And I kind of like the Deer Hunter's armor, but it's like would be one less armor for me. It's a little bit sad. But yeah, so the Rallying Horn right now, plus well, I have some ideas for uncommon items that might be interesting for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like look some up.
Nothing too out of the box, but like there are just some neat things that would help me. Like the boots of Elvenkind would be good for Soleil.
Mhm.
Do you want to be more faster? The fuck?
No, boots of Elvenkind just make me like double stealthy, right? Just advantage on stealth
Oh.
checks. That would like fit for him, and it doesn't need attunement. That's the cool thing. And same goes for the Ring of Water Walking, because like Soleil can like do everything. He doesn't fall. He just like the only two things he needs to be like the perfect being when it comes to movement is like the Ring of Water Walking, and then also spider climbing is just missing. And after that, he would be like so mobile. Like the terrain could do nothing for him. But yeah, the Ring of Water Walking would be interesting. And I mean, I just said it earlier in the group, but I just to check out how much it would cost. Like the immovable rod is also uncommon, so I guess that's always like useful.
The immovable one.
Do we know how much the things cost?
I guess not yet. I guess
Not really, since it's all trade.
We don't even know how much we have. That's why I was like, what can we sell?
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure we can sell any of this stuff. Like, the lantern would be a direct upgrade on this one, too. These are pretty good. We should probably.
Technically, if versus the greatcoat, while the bonus healing is nice. For constructs, an all-purpose tool, which is like even just an uncommon all-purpose tool, which is just a +1, can turn into any artisan tool.
And that's just an uncommon.
That's yeah, it's one of Asha's introduced, one of the +1 weapons kind of things for other classes. The all-purpose tool is introduced for artificers, but it's an uncommon.
Are you finished with your deliberation?
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, I think so.
I can only get one because I already have 3 achievements. So.
You're
The weapons
selling
probably
both of
best.
these?
I can't use it. Soleil should use one of them.
What? What?
I don't know.
Mushroom
Maybe not.
heads.
Oh,
I don't know. Rhett was handed these. I don't think they're really meant for either.
I mean, I can also sell my ring of, unless anyone else wants it, but my ring of reaction.
Yes, yeah.
Bless you.
Oh, sorry.
Because like this is already a +2 weapon, which you know. I mean,
Also, this thing, by the way, I don't need at all. We can sell that.
Fine, give everything back that I gave you.
No, that is not everything. Have you seen what I have in my inventory? But this
Do you have-
chain is just like, because it's not light, I can't use it. I thought it was finesse, but it isn't. So,
This guy's still using his silver eagle weapons.
I mean, they are quite OP, so no reason to change them out yet.
SMH my hand.
Yeah.
it's like same.
One
I
day
mean, the
I
best
will.
thing- I think the best thing about a Silver Eagle is they don't require attunement. Most other weapons do.
Yeah, also that, but like it's just so much damage output with my specific character. That it's just too good.
Okay, so you're looking to sell all of these?
Yeah. How do I make my things?
Can we trade them for another magic item?
Yeah, I realized
also don't
I still have this on my table, but I believe I gave this to the
So I do believe you were trying to work on combining.
Oh, is that something I need?
You,
Yeah, that's
you
great,
need both
yeah.
the instruments if you were to combine / upgrade.
I will hold on to it then.
I think I already gave this to you. I think I just forgot to give you the card.
I think so.
I- Yeah, I believe I
remember.
traded that back to the captain of
Mhm.
the yeah.
Cleanse.
I could sell this one as well if I'm getting a new weapon.
Actually, though, the serpent scale armor is an uncommon D&D magic item from Candlekeep. That would be pretty dope. Here, I'll just post this. I don't know if we can get our hands on it or not, but.
See what I've done now? I have to do the math thing. Damn it.
Yeah.
Why did I do this to myself?
I would, if it was one thing, it would probably be that versus the what is it called? What I just said. All-purpose tool. Both would be good, but those would probably one or the other. Can you check with Michael on something real quick, or Law real quick on something? I'll be right back.
Scale mail.
And yeah, I also have the ring of reaction. I don't know if anyone wants it.
Is it attunement?
It is. And it does sound good on paper because
Great filter.
it makes you immune to being like paralyzed by magic, but it has never come up so far. So
That beggars are like, oh, okay, I see.
as soon as I
Next
sell it, there's
session.
gonna be a caster with hold monster.
Oh yeah, the serpent scale armor. Depending on how much it costs, would also give me one more AC. So would also be nice.
You want another one?
Yeah, depending on how much it costs and if we can afford it, then yes.
Why did I do this to myself?
Because
What's that?
you love math.
That's the thing. I don't.
That's the neat thing. You don't.
I could exchange the infernal AES for these bracers. Don't know if that would be worth it.
Let's just sell wind.
Wow.
I'm sure they would love
I'm
it.
sure Ablin would love it, yeah. Also just saying that stuff like the immovable rod is uncommon, but the mantle of the Pack Lord, which is so narrow,
Yeah,
is like rare.
that should be uncommon.
That feels very uncommon.
Yeah.
You know what else feels uncommon?
Your mother. Just kidding. What do you mean?
Fuck. You're gonna meet her like
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know her yet. But what did you want to say? What is uncommon?
Back.
Welcome back. We were discussing selling wind, but we're pretty
Whoa,
sure
whoa,
that
whoa, whoa, you
we're
can't
pretty
sell
sure that
things.
Ablin is probably not fine with that.
Evelyn would never allow it.
I thought
She
so.
would strike out on her own first. Because she knows these prejudiced, stuck-up dwarves would just destroy Vint and all of her work.
what a clean number. Well, currently selling all of these would be worth 923 flasks of oil
Okay.
if we just use the flask as the base. What's currently in your shopping cart is 1,900.
I can give you my firefly.
I think this is mostly dependent on the very rares.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
I don't think I'm
Fine.
sorry to say another uncommon is probably not gonna do the trick. I'm sorry.
What about a kraken tooth?
No, it's not really made into anything. It hasn't.
But it's pure material that can be made into anything.
Yeah, if you
If they wanna
maybe
go
if you
find
guys
their own
would have
kraken.
used the budding sprouting weapons, they would have turned into something more valuable by now.
What would this chronosphere give us? Which is very
You
rare.
can't blame me
I-
for weapons I can't use.
I think you've already used one of these.
Look,
haven't
they don't know that.
you? Wow.
Yeah, I did. I used one. I don't remember which one, but I remember the
think
fight
you
it was
used
in.
haste.
Yeah, I think it was haste. So slow is still in
Probably-
there.
Well, the Ring of Free Action is rare. I don't know if you added that one. So I don't have a handout for it.
I don't think the one any of my mushrooms, since most of them came from the drow, and they they
Ring
can't
of
handle
free
it.
action adds another 100. You putting the braces back?
I mean, I would need to exchange them for the shield anyways. And I don't know which one is better.
The braces are 900.
Oh, the bracers are 900. Oh, the bracers were the thing that made it so
Yeah.
expensive.
Well, you know,
It's still
probably-
cool. I mean, I was considering them too, but 900 is a steep price.
Theoretically,
They are very rare.
What about the Dwarven Buzan's backpack? I don't have a card for it. It's rare. And it's Dwarven. So it should be more valuable.
And it makes beer, so
It does more for dwarves than anybody else.
yeah.
There's things that are specific on it that are specific only to dwarves.
Well, if I'm getting the bracers, I would probably just sell the Infernal Aegis that I have.
Could I get rid of these in exchange for just a +1 breastplate?
But I don't know
Yes.
if
it's like an even trade.
It's an even trade?
Between this and the +1, yes.
That's
think.
no. Okay.
Wait, is it? Hold on. Isn't +1? What did you want? +1 what?
Just the +1 breastplate.
Okay, it's not an even trade.
It's like, it's uncommon for a rare, but...
Also, did you move add like the boots of Elvenkind and stuff already?
No.
And the immovable rod and the ring of water walking?
Okay, okay. I need you guys
Those
to
were.
write
I
this
wasn't kidding when I
this
told you
point.
these things would
We
be
should write
interesting.
it
It's
out.
gonna be
in
like
a
a whole
list.
big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone should like write up what they need or want.
Did somebody else want my serpent scale armor too?
Yeah, I could use it too. Because I'm so dexy.
Adding this would give you
Can you
another
wear
60,
medium armor too?
and you'd like minus the.
What,
I'll
ca-
just
what,
add them.
Yeah.
what did you say with medium armor?
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
just-
I was
just
like,
animal
could
set.
you wear? My brain went to a ranger for a second.
Yeah, I as a
fighter.
as a fighter I can basically use everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't so far because my dex is just too high to not use the dex armor.
Are you selling the infernal agent?
I don't know.
Put it to the side.
Those are the three that I would be interested in.
I'm theoretically curious of the cost or the value of the Dwarven Boozehound backpack, because I don't know if we also need to use that as a bartering conversation piece, talking to the king, but or for some other
So-
scenario. But I'm not. I'm just curious.
The Dwarven Booze Hound's backpack would net you an extra 400.
400. Okay.
I think those are the things that
It can be used on a broom. I like it. A saddle for the broom.
I mean, right? It'd hate to get unseated while flying.
My house currently reeks of Lysol, and I'm slowly dying
Oh no. Why is that?
because they're spraying everything down with Lysol right now.
Why?
Because my sister was here yesterday very briefly to say hello to me, and then she
has
just
prob-
texted me that she has got COVID.
Good lord.
That's why I had to step away really quickly. Sorry. I'm just like,
Yeah,
please
no,
no.
that's fair.
Please no. This is my one sister that hadn't caught it yet, who was holding out with me. And I'm like, no! You betrayed me! We were supposed to be the chosen ones!
Yeah, she tried to drag you down with her.
I'll be so angry.
Jess will remember that.
I will. I will. Yeah, Law's
Okay.
buying a couple of extra COVID tests just so we can make sure it's fine.
Mm-hmm. So, with everything added, this is where we currently stand.
Is
With the
That's
things
what-
that they put in chat,
Mm-hmm.
it's 1190.
Oh,
I
we're not that far off now.
My number is not our number is not including the booze hound, correct?
Not yet. no.
Okay.
I would change the shield for the bracers, I think.
Is that an even trade? So it stays the
Not
same, or
exactly.
Ah,
I mean, if
are
it's
the
just a
bracers
little bit
more
off.
expensive?
The bracers are 900. You would get 600 for the shield.
That's not fair.
But the world isn't fair.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
The shield is clearly much cooler than the bracers for
Oh yeah, then
dwarves.
why aren't you keeping it, huh?
Well, for the dwarves,
did these things just
It's
get
like-
thrown up here?
a fire
yeah.
shield.
I thought we were upgrading the lantern.
I don't need the coat.
Okay.
Just as a question, would I get anything for the art objects that I'm carrying around, or is that not interesting for them?
Yeah, true. Let's put this up there.
Not in this
Oh,
one.
the honey?
Yeah.
Not here.
Okay.
Gotta be
About
worth
10
something.
pounds of honey.
You guys
Look.
making me do.
You didn't give us
Fucking
straight gold.
Yeah, this isn't.
We
our
could have
fault.
done
Yeah.
this with gold.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know.
They don't wanna
this
trade
is
with
an
gold.
immersive world.
It is.
What if I
but it's
use
also
my
your
really
choice.
cool- What if I use my really cool belt to charm the dwarfs into making us a really good deal?
You can
Oh, that's
always-
true.
You can always haggle.
Where is
Yeah.
that? Where's the belt that was actually not finished? That's useless to us.
The Giants belt thing? I don't think it's got a card for it.
Okay.
It's,
look up
it's
what-
just
you
uncompleted.
really wanna try and make the
I-
shield and braces work?
I mean, if we can haggle.
We don't need to upgrade the lantern, but if we're not, then I would keep the other one. I don't know if that's helpful.
In the grand scheme of this trade, it's relatively minuscule.
Okay.
This upgrade costs you 80.
Okay.
It's definitely not the thing adding the
That's not
most
the problem.
value to this trade.
So we're only like 250 short, 270.
270 flasks so far, yes.
I can give my belt to Gret to aid him in the negotiations.
Wait, what?
It's
You
a
got that
really
dwarven
cool belt.
belt
Yeah,
thing.
gives you advantage
yeah.
on persuasion checks.
Okay. Well, yeah, true. I'm just like, are we sure we got everything? Okay.
We technically have some explosives, but I don't know if we want to give those away.
These things? Oh, the actual explosive. Yeah. Also, do we want this kingfish steak? The other one?
So, the kingfish steak,
But is it worth? It's very rare.
it is true. It is very rare.
Oh yeah, that was the... okay.
I mean, like, because food is such a big thing here.
Yeah.
True. It probably has more value here than anywhere else.
Right. That gets us within negotiating range, I feel like. Maybe?
You are pretty close.
The rest is
Did
haggling.
we add them yet or not?
I think he's got it added, so we're...
Yeah.
we're
The rest can be haggling, right?
Yeah, we don't really need the stakes.
like 68 apart, so we're definitely within
Yeah,
haggling.
in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot, so...
I mean, if this is worth 60, I don't know. It is uncommon.
I don't think it. I don't think.
It would
Sorry,
add
not
20.
Yeah, we can haggle them for 40, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. What do we draw?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't.
I mean,
I
if
assume
not,
all
we
these
can
are being
still put
bought and
something
sold
in.
with different merchants, so I don't know. Do you want like multiple like haggling bills?
I think we can do this in one.
Okay.
Unless you really, really want to do more. But that's a lot of extra math.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
We like
totally
fun games, not extra math.
Yeah. And you did get everything that we posted.
Yes.
Okay.
If you do want the belt, you'd have to attune to it first, though.
That's okay.
Give me a.
You wanna haggle? Okay.
persuasion. Any
I
one
wanna
of you. Persuasion.
Obviously, it's gonna be solid.
I don't know. Hey, Rhett's been doing a good job. He figured out stuff. He figured out their system. He's not getting against game. Okay, well, listen. You can just take that.
Ow.
Oh, it's the Awu one.
You're not doing it with advantage?
But wouldn't
There we go.
No. Persuasion, that's 28.
Did you decide if you were trying to get any of the ammo or arrow to the bow?
Except no.
The
No.
arrow,
Shoot.
no, because it's like I have a +2 and that's just a +1. Even though the like flavor wise it's cool, nothing of the things
so sorry.
make me think I want to have.
I'm sorry I don't make you happy, alright?
You won 1,000.
I don't
Thousand
know
diamond.
if they count diamond as useless because they can't do anything with it.
Maybe they just may have so many diamonds down here in the
What needs
mines.
a
They,
1,000
they
diamond?
apparently have so much gold and platinum. I don't know.
Yeah.
1,000
You just
diamonds?
can't eat any of that.
That's 2 resurrections, yes.
Yeah, so maybe the diamonds are not worth much here, so maybe we can get one for cheap.
Oh, no.
Wait, what was it about 1,000 diamonds?
He just
I
added
need,
that to
I
the
need
list.
components. I just forgot. I need
A
bunch.
diamond worth 1,000 gold pieces.
It's the most important one. Well, listen, unless you don't want me to resurrect you when you die. I don't know. It's up to you.
If we get the pick, we just have to find a bunch of stone golems, kill them, and they may give us a.
Well, I was
We're
gonna
not
give you
trying to-
this stack of wildflower.
Holy shit. That is a big
Holy
stack.
moly.
But let's see, diamond worth 1,000.
So much oil.
Yeah.
It's we don't have to include it.
Imagine
It's
carrying that
fine.
around.
We could do it separately or
Well,
something.
let's just do it separately. Yeah,
Only
it's
only
easy.
takes away your oh my god, why did I do this?
Was it only taking away a couple of them?
You know what, I'm just gonna delete the
Tiger, why did you do this?
because I thought it'd be
You mad?
funny.
I mean, it's still kind of funny.
Maybe you can buy some clothing now.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
Fine.
You finish the trade, and out come a couple of dwarves just with stacks of oil flasks in crates that they hand over to you. At this point, I think they're just gonna give you like a barrel. Okay, let me grab all of this stuff. Remember to add your uncommon stuff what you added in the chat.
I'm gonna take the horn.
You did get the braces after all. Look at that.
Neat.
Could you post the 2 descriptions of my items on Discord? You have
The pickaxe and the
Bracers.
braces. You can upload the cards, yes.
If I don't put it in my character sheet, I'll forget that I have it.
Should I post it in just your channel?
Whatever works.
Probably easiest because I'm assuming every other chat will probably eventually move by a lot fast. I was like, no way are they gonna go for both of the very rares. Nope. They're getting both of them.
They're really cool.
You cleaned up your inventory a lot.
I mean, it was about time.
I don't actually know if we what we're gonna do with this oil now.
Well, we can restock our supplies.
Oh, what
in
a
case
pain
I don't know how
it
we're
is to
necessarily
be
leaving.
Rich. Oh no.
Well, okay.
It's so painful to have money.
Like example, how much is this rare item? Like, is it as a single if we have this much left over.
Check.
Or like this. I mean, it's not a 2-man. It's nice.
Theoretically, how much is a all-purpose tool? It's an uncommon item.
Yeah.
This
yeah,
would
It's plus
be
1.
120.
Let me tell you.
This would be 100. And the uncommon would be 30.
I'll just take the all-purpose tool then.
Cool.
Right over the jacket.
Yeah, no, sure. Oh,
Sorry. Well, the all-purpose tool is a screwdriver that can turn into any
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
artisan tool, and then I become proficient with it. So even if I'm not already proficient, I am now proficient.
your oil fell over.
I just realized I have 2 different kinds of boots now. Can I wear one each on each
Oh
foot?
my god.
That is like I have these wind riders where I can turn to fucking gas for a minute with a command word.
You
And
could wear them over each other and be somewhat uncomfortable doing
yeah, I guess. Yeah. Because these are made out of leaves, they probably fit over the others.
Sure.
The boots of Elvenkind, both of them are kind
I'll
of
allow
like...
you to wear 2 boots at the same
Sorry,
time.
I just noticed it and I wanted to be fair and ask you at least instead
Yeah,
of
no,
just
it's
doing it.
fine.
They're both kind of like the plant-based things that can overlap. They are bendy. I'm sure.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to do this?
Buy clothes.
Now we have some cash, kind of, in the
Yeah,
city.
exactly.
For who would you buy clothes?
For me, I guess, just in case.
Everyone? Yeah,
Yeah, I guess
actually,
everyone.
everyone but Evelyn, because she was very insistent on
Mm-hmm.
being her own person.
Yeah. Screw you and your own culture. I'm going to still represent mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try and act like I'm not of a different culture.
We're not buying clothes like that either, but we're just buying
No,
court-worthy clothes.
I understand. I already have that.
Yes, indeed you do.
So, it just doesn't make sense at all.
Red.
Yes.
Could you give me an intelligence roll?
Hmm.
Or I think it's flat, but I'll check. If it's just intelligence, yeah, 12.
As you wander by the market, you sort of have to travel a ways back and go over to Fresh Market to get clothes. And as you wander past the market stalls, there is a stack of little wooden logs that catch your eye.
Okay.
Because it would be the wood you would need.
Ooh. The magic word. I need some of that magic wood. It has really good resonance. Tell.
It costs 100 oil flasks.
Oh shit.
Oh man. What can you do with it again?
So I'm gonna turn both of my instruments of the bards into one like combined super instrument.
That is neat.
One man band.
So, do you?
Yes. Can I persuade on this one so we have just a little extra cash?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion roll.
Are
Wow.
you using the belt yet?
I don't. It takes an hour to attune. I don't know. Can't spend.
Probably have enough time.
Do I have enough time to easily attune to the bell?
Sure.
All right. That's much better. That's 21.
That's how much?
21.
That is enough. Fine. Fine.
Fine.
You get a little bit of oil back. Sure. Sure you can have some oil.
Okay. This is so many things. I'm so sorry. To refill ammunition and like basic spell components, would that be one oil?
I mean, basic spell components is free. Because you could also channel it through a focus, which would never cost you additional money.
Okay.
As in...
As in the 5 GP silver spoon that I need for Magnificent Mansion.
Oh, I mean, if you buy something with a gold value, it costs that gold value, which in this economy would be
I need
piece of
15
oil
gold.
shale. You need 15?
It's 15 gold worth of components.
You could pay it with 1 oil flask,
Great.
but you might be giving a little bit extra.
That's fine.
What if you got 16?
Oh my god.
That's too much.
If it feels like I'm giving away too much, I guess I just drink the excess. Fine.
It's not
Oh
Oil?
no!
The excess oil?
Yeah. Come on.
No.
Their economy's stupid.
Okay. Hey man. Alright.
They haven't heard of banks. I can't go get a banknote for this oil somehow. What is
Yeah.
going on?
I mean, in the end, I have to give away everything anyway, as long as we're here, because we don't need it.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Let's get close.
And who was getting
can-
clothes?
Everyone but Ablin, I think, right?
Yeah.
So now
You want, you can sell all my artisan tools that you're carrying around.
will be another 3 oil gone. And it takes you a little bit to find clothing, you know, in your size. But eventually, you do. And you buy the remaining golds.
Okay.
I hope mine look at least representable of the blue tiger name.
You could probably buy something that leans towards blue.
I definitely will.
A successful shopping day. Is there anything else you were set on doing?
I guess I'm gonna keep my art objects for now. I don't need more oil.
Yeah, you keep those fucking art objects.
Look, I've been carrying those around for forever now.
I would say then, if that was all, as you return, I think this is a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Good thing Ablin wasn't with us. That was chaotic as fuck. She would have lost
Thank
all
guys
faith.
for session. It was a little bit of a shorter one and mostly a shopping episode.
Sometimes those are cool.
I ran out of energy pretty early on. I am sorry. I'm like super stressed these past few days.
Oh,
No worries.
No
So-
worries.
Sorry, because in part it probably has to do with my presence there tomorrow.
Well, maybe. There's also it's like a couple of things at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's the PC stuff right before I was like,
Mhm.
ugh. But yeah,
Da-da-day.
I was missing half my script. So
I
That wasn't
didn't
fun.
didn't notice. It sounded amazing.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed.
I'm sure you did, but it sounded amazing.
Regarding next session, probably gonna have to skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be available with
Yeah.
that. I'll be at my grandparents. So our next session, unless we like reschedule somewhere in the first week of the new year, would be the, I believe,